Well, hi. Welcome to Lost Opal Tarot. Let's go to the big camera. Hey there. So, surprise, surprise. Thursday Tempests. Welcome to Lost Opal Tarot. Here we use things like tarot, Elder Futhark runes, oh gosh, osteomancy, a bunch of books, astrology, astronomy, hermetics, you name it. If it leads to information that gets us to the higher self, well, I want to know. What is it? Let's explore, shall we? So, real quick, before we get started, the reading queue is presently not open. Respectfully. It's been 5 days since my birthday. My birthday stream was nuts. Disjointed. I just had a lot of stuff going on that day, and I'm already extremely ADHD as it is. So, you know, I wanted to take a moment. Clearly, I've had more than a moment to just kind of gather my thoughts and talk about some stuff I've been wanting to talk about for a minute, I guess. So if you don't mind, forgive me while I rant a bit, really. I took a trip to LA. While on that trip, and even before, it's just a crazy chain of events. I don't even know where to start with all of that. Just real quickly, okay, a lot of this is just going to be me recapping. So I was effectively, before my birthday had come, just looking for like a generic, event, like a tarot event of any sort, really. Trying to just find other people doing what I'm doing, right? Looking for just others, I guess. I don't really know how to explain myself. But randomly found this event happening in LA. So I committed myself to go into this event, the LA Festival of Tarot. You can look it up if you're so interested. But it is held at the Philosophical Research Center. I guess this is something new from what I understood, or relatively new for them, and something they'd like to continue doing every year. I would like to keep coming every year. Anyway, the stars aligned, if you will. Just my curiosity, looking for a group, and then finding this event. I'm not too far from LA. I had planned on taking a bus, which is like $100 one way, right? Couple $100 trip, no big deal. Find a hostel while I was out there. I was willing to do, whatever I had to get out, just to go experience this. My great friends made sure that, I got a flight while I was there, and I got a hotel while I was there, instead of hostel. Not that I would have minded either, but that trip for me, super cool. One of the things I kind of didn't get to touch on, really, I think I talked about it briefly, but I did several kind of seminars while I was there. I wanted to make sure that I thanked the hosts and sponsors of the event properly. There was a bunch of stuff given away, which super beautiful. I'm extremely thankful for. And at the same time, I am in a place where I will likely end up giving the stuff that was given to me away. And I wanted to explain myself a bit there. So I had complained. Okay, here's one of the things while I was there. Okay, and I want to be abundantly clear. Perhaps there is an artist that worked on this deck, or whoever it might be. Okay. I love Lord of the Rings. I consider myself a bit of a teacher when it comes to what I'm doing here. So for me, my frustration with this deck doesn't come with the card stock, the design, the interpretive art, or anything like that, but, well, it does, I should say, the art specifically. We just have a lot of references that are interpretations of astrology. I have a hard time explaining from the perspective of, and to a newcomer from the perspective of someone who already knows what temperance is. Like, we've got on a lot of these the general indications, okay? But otherwise, well, some of it's just kind of lost, okay? They're just not the tool I need for what I'm trying to do, right? Beautiful, lovely, not necessarily for me. I need things that can talk about decans and astrology in general. All right, that's kind of where things are headed for me, which leads us to other topics that we'll discuss. But for now, there will be readings tonight if anybody does decide to show up after I'm done just talking about some stuff I needed to talk about. So, the trip to LA, okay? Friday night, kind of not important. Got there, went for like the last bit of an event, said hi to some people, went to hotel, went to sleep. Nothing crazy. Saturday, we had a tea ceremony with Liz Huston. I think I have one of her decks here, in fact. Let me see if it's here. It might be. Things haven't moved too far. This is by who? Anna? No. This one. All right. Liz Huston. If you're out there, beautiful deck, right? This is one of our raffle gifts. Okay. This was like the first raffle I won. Just happened to be with the person I'm presenting. Yeah, well, here you go. Here's a sample of your work. It's gorgeous. Okay. But in this event, gosh, I can't really talk too much about what the presentation was fully about, but she's just kind of exploring different ways that tarot's interpreted, and I thought it was beautiful. So more of these similar style meetings, if you will, different presenters from different, not only ethnicities, but just religious faiths or just different parts of the world. I mean, for Christ's sake, the place is called the Philosophical Research Center. What kind of conversations might happen in a place like this, right? So Melissa, I see you. The close command was just for me to close the actual reading queue while I blab away for a moment. So more of those kind of ceremonies. In one of them, okay, I carry around some stones with me. Well, as you can, well, not now, but these guys. God, I'm going to grab the one that I lost, but I carry crystals around with me in my pocket for a reason. Some of them go over my heart for a reason. One of them in specific was just a purple flash labradorite. Okay, not to get materialistic, but it was just very funny to me. I've had that stone for almost a year, and I go to LA one time. I have a tea ceremony in LA, a place where, for me, I was just in ultimate relaxation. Okay, I cannot remember the presenter's name, but I'm pretty sure that's where I left my stone. And the stone in specific, as a Gemini Cancer, okay, it's a labradorite. It's literally my soul's, like, my cusp stone. It's like my soul stone of sorts. So in a sense, I have literally left, metaphorically and physically, my soul in LA to come back to collect another day. I don't know why we turned into Dr. Seuss right there, but I found that just very profound. It struck me very hard before I got back on the plane. As a grown man, 39 years old, I am unashamed to tell you that the trip was so impactful, I wept before I got on the plane to come home. Just that sense of, finally belonging somewhere was so deeply instilled in me. It's very crazy. And then come to find my own stone betrays me and stays behind where it belongs. Fair, right? Man, still breaks my heart a little bit. So Sunday, all right. Sunday was a really crazy day in LA. Mind you, this is like 3 weeks ago for me, okay? I can't play this whole video. There are other people. I don't want to be rude, but I will at least show you what the heck I was looking at, okay? So there's a BOTA temple, I guess we'll call it, in LA, all right? Pasadena. I shouldn't say LA. Pasadena, California, I think is more appropriate to say. So, mind you, all right, this is before my birthday, 6/20. And, well, I was already having a lot of, I don't know how to exactly put this without sounding, completely crazy, but was just getting a lot of signs, getting a lot of messages, if you will, about just kind of challenges for me. And I had been seeing the World card a lot. Okay? A whole lot. Like in my readings leading up to all of this, okay? I'm sure we know this card, but I'd been seeing this over and over. And I do not understand why, right? I think I have a good grasp on what this card means, and I'm constantly reminded I don't know anything. Nothing. All right? Everything I think I know, there's tenfold more to it, right? It has been deep study for almost a year. Thank you for confirming that is Pasadena. So this card is, well, it's ruled by the planet Saturn, all right, in some of these systems I'm using here. Okay, you can look at BOTA, OTO, and Golden Dawn, all right, to get a sense of what the heck I'm talking about here, but there are just correspondences. If you want really to blow your mind, go ahead and get this guy. It's an excellent reference. I agree with for the most part. There are some things that are still being explored, both academically and just personally, right? Meaning the larger consensus in my own personal beliefs, if that makes sense. I'm going off on a tangent. I am sorry. This damn card, okay, Saturn here, it's sitting right next to my sign's card. I'm June 20th. Gemini, astronomically Gemini, but astrologically I claim a cusp, right? Gemini Cancer. But nonetheless, here is, well, in gigantic print form in my face, as if to say, okay, this message from Saturn about how the world works, what this all means, right? Why the world card has been talking to me repeatedly. Okay, I finally learned what it meant that day. All right, I hadn't made it into this book deep enough. I had been doing what I always do and bouncing around, kind of just reading the sections that I felt relevant at the time. There is a specific reading order for this book, and you won't know that unless you actually read the damn book in order. The cards go from the World backward to the Fool. Okay? When we're looking at the majors, it's meant to teach us that one does not descend down the tree of life, all right? That's where stuff comes from. You're meant to go up it and try to reach your wonderful hands and beautiful soul up to effectively the source, the one, the great unity, God, whatever you like to call that. I missed that lesson completely. Just because of the way I am naturally, but here we are. Okay, I came for this kind of pilgrimage, if you will, this little spiritual journey, and since I wasn't hearing, I didn't know I was walking into this. I had no idea that they've got, you can kind of tell, right? They have all the cards. I call them majors. You know, these big giant printouts. They're so impactful to just sit in the room with. But man, to walk into a place where you've seen written about in books, that's very real, right? This is I don't know, it's an experience. I don't even know how to explain it. It's holy in its own way to me, right? To no one else likely, but just beautiful. I finally understood what the hell this all meant though, right? I went to LA specifically to be taught. I was trying to find somebody else. Okay, I'm not some smart guy. All right, I haven't even made it through all this damn book in full. I started with this one. Okay, we got the fundamentals of Kabbalah, also I could just understand how to translate it to tarot. There's still so much more to learn in here for me. Like, I'm not even a fraction of the way to where I want to be. Someone out there is, i.e. this guy, right? I still have questions, all right? I am actively out in public carrying this book around because it's too perfect as not only my reference, okay? The uninitiated would look at me and call me an evangelist for astrology, astronomy, tarot, spirituality, effectively. Okay? This is sort of like a Bible in a way. It's not at all. It's a Bible of reference, if that makes sense. So this is one of the things I wanted to kind of cover today. But again, just to circle back here, this is for me anymore, literally in public. I've got this on me. If I don't, it's because I can't. I've got a deck on me. I need to know what your birthday is. I wear a button, okay? In search of the right person that I can have these conversations with. And I don't mean your personal private reading. I'm more than happy to do that with anybody. Ask me, and I will absolutely share what I feel is sort of a peek behind the curtain of how the universe works and how you can interact with it. Think of me as your astrological weatherman. The only difference between me and the guy on TV is I'm here to tell you when the energy of the cosmos might rain on the soul. This is a random card I just pulled, by the way, that I was going to talk about as an example, but I guess there you go. Okay, this is mildly creepy for what we're doing. The card of Epiphany. So just to see what the hell I'm talking about here. This card, the ruling planet of it is Mars. Okay, there's further too, but just if you want a quick glimpse at how this works, okay, Mars. All right, this lives, even though the numbers won't align with that, but you can see 16 here, right? There are 10 different, Sapphira in the world. The theory of everything, if you will. I'm going to talk about this book a whole lot going forward. I'm so sorry. That's, for you, this little red guy over here. Okay. Easier still. Hopefully, Robert Wang, don't sue me. I love you. That's over here. This is literally the ruling planet of what's known as the path of severity within the 10 Sephira, okay? All stuff that requires tremendous further explanation, but just to summarize it, yeah? Mars, you look at this card, you think action. Go look up the mythology of the Roman or Greek god of Mars, or any other related god that's even kind of like him. Yeah? Or her, however you want to perceive them. Maybe it's just a cosmic force. I don't know, right? But whatever things you attribute to that, just realize for hundreds of years, and I argue literally thousands. There was a time in man's upcoming, and I'm talking human beings, where we could not speak to one another and record it. Okay? We might have been able to make sounds and talk to one another, point to stars, tell a story, but to record it for all time, we don't really know when that happened. So in my mind, who is to truly say how long we've been telling stories about the stars that they've been saying to us, to one another? So for me, provable, documented, printed works, there are many. Then they go back far enough. If that's not enough for you, I ask you to return to the human condition of curiosity. I argue we've been talking about this for a while. While you may have your own intuition and messages you've received, we've got a pretty good baseline understanding of how we think. Okay? Literally, we think about the world, weirdly enough. So this whole LA thing for me was not just some casual weekend. I was truly hoping, and don't get me wrong, I met plenty of people that can talk your ear off about their, version of the work. I'm looking for, I don't know, a guru, I suppose. Not someone necessarily, I can devote my life to, but I'm just looking for other, what I will lovingly refer to as preceptors. Okay? My kind of toxic trait, if you will, if I'm talking with you and you don't understand, I wish you to learn, and I will teach you if I can. I'll try, right? A lot of what this channel will become going forward is no longer just kind of, generic reads, okay? All of this has reconnected me with holy number 7, man. There are 7 planets, according to the old work, if you will, and even the current, 2 of which are not planets, the sun and moon, obviously, but point being, they're important, okay? They're too close and too important in our little solar system for us to ignore. So they get included, okay? So you get 5 others to worry about, all right? That's not a whole lot to remember. And then you get to learn that all the days of the week are named after, basically planets and gods, every one of them. So you get not only days of the week names after planet, you get some gods, some Roman Greek mythology, some gods and goddesses mixed in here, right? On top of that, you get planetary hours. Okay? Here, another fun way to mess with your day. Basically, from sunrise, the day of, that's the first day that matches that same, first hour matches that same day's planet. So on Saturday, Saturn's day, the first hour of sunrise, that marks the first hour of the day hour of Saturn. Then you get to work through a whole cycle of those, okay? So not only for me, we're not just talking to whatever. I'm looking up, literally, I need to know where the moon is, okay? So just a prime example here. Right now, where I am, I use an app called Time Passages. Take your pick on application, but I like to look up, where's the moon? Okay, I happen to know for where I'm at, we're still moving through Scorpio. So our moon, where I am present anyway, our moon is working through this pattern of death in tarot as I know it, okay? There's a lot more to get involved into the type of reading, okay? But in effect, I like to just look at it as effectively the high priestess, okay? Dealing with death, okay? Death being transformation. This is a very strange time for me to be doing readings because it's we're in the pre-retrograde shadow of Mercury. Been going on since like the 12th. So right now, a lot of my stuff and even my friends and family around me we're just getting little reminders of the stuff we were supposed to take care of at some point. I cannot say when, but stuff that I didn't do right is coming back to find me. Like in a good way. Like representing itself like, hey, did you forget? Like, yeah, I clearly did. Shit. Right? So it's just very strange for me to read right now because we're in a very unclear communicatory field energetically, and I fear if my readings are accurate, if they're talking about the right thing, right? It's already messing with me, right? These are all totally nonsensical, right? We live here. Of course it'll talk to us. It's just, will I understand? Will it be communicated, right? Will you understand, etc.? My goodness. But I have a hard time looking myself in the mirror anymore and calling myself a tarot reader. All right. I've been kind of running around making the joke. Well, Dr. Decan. All right. When I say Decan, I mean like the astronomical decans in the sky, 30 degrees, 10 degrees, technically. That's all of our minor tarot cards. So basically, anymore, I'm trying to figure out you using tarot, okay, and just old style systems. I get people that ask me, you know, what is I'll tell you, okay? All I want to know is your birthday. I go find your birthday card in here on the wheel of astrology and tarot, your minor, and the star sign, the major. Okay, this is not anything new, but this is how anymore. I want to go grab those cards. Those become part of your reading. These are just real quick data points of, you know, you. So just as an example here, against my better judgment, we're going to do a quick reading for me. Okay. I do want to read for some other people. It's still kind of early. I figured I had some time to blab away just so I could get some of my own thoughts out here, but I at least want to kind of demonstrate what the hell I'm talking about. As you can see, there's digital and physical. I don't know why I have my phone over here in the way. Sorry. So I apparently have something in my eye. I'm, as I said, Gemini, which in our tarot system translates to the lovers. I am a June 20th. Do you know what the birthday card for June 20th is? Would you like to know? It's this one. Isn't that such a fun card? Doesn't that look great? This is a few days' birthday, by the way, but it's, you know, it's mine. This is my birthday card. Would you like to know its title? In Golden Dawn and others, it's known as the Lord of Rune. So, it took me, I'm still trying to understand this card, but this is exactly my point here, okay? I wish I could read to you, like verbatim. Maybe I haven't read anything out of this. I think I'm allowed to read like a paragraph without going to hell, okay? But I like to now take, you know, my seeker, my friend, my whoever this person is to me, and show them their card, because there's a nice little, well, I say nice, there's a nice little paragraph in here about all of the minors. Okay, I'm gonna read you my birthday card. Okay, this is well, you'll see. 10 of Swords, Lord of Ruin. All right, I'm not going to read the angels in the Decan. You can look that up. That will mean other stuff. But this is the sun in Gemini. Okay, so when I'm born, this is Malkuth, or if you will. Oh, you're getting to see the workshop. This, the bottom guy, okay, on the tree of life. That's where we live. All right, Malkuth and yet Zyra. All right, which is well, something else you're just gonna have to look up. But really, I just want you to hear the influence of Malkuth in the astral world. Okay, from the standpoint of material things, this is the most destructive card in the deck. and no one likes to see it appear in a spread. But those who use tarot as an instrument of spiritual development learn not to take life's experiences at face value. And insofar as the tarot is used to predict future events, the statement can be made about it that can be made about astrology. The stars impel. They do not compel. We are not slaves to our destiny, but have the capacity, through inner processes, to considerably improve our earthly lot. To do so is no less ethical than resigning a position when it is clear that some work-related disaster is on the horizon, or walking on the sidewalk when the cards tell you that if you walk in the street, you will probably be struck by an oncoming automobile. We should use the capacities we have been given. Okay? This, for me, beautiful. I love this, but we're missing some data. Okay? This talks about, well, from more of a Kabbalistic perspective. Okay? This mixes esoterica, hermeticism. I want to call it theology in a way, spirituality, but as well just kind of philosophy in general. Kind of a perspective on the overall energy of this Decan, this point in the sky, this connection, this literal point, this card, okay? What the overall message behind it would be, right? But that's kind of hard to communicate to someone who's not sitting here reading the same books as us at all, right? So it's much easier for me to explain this to someone not as Lord of Rune, but literally, this is the end of a thought that can no longer be avoided. This is time to get to the truth of the matter. This is the end of a lie, right? Something on the mind, right? This thought process. This is the much more simplified version. If you take this beautiful artwork here, okay, hence part of my gripe with not being able to correctly communicate what the hell's going on in these cards to the layman. If you take away Pamela Coleman Smith's art and you start using, well, like the Hermetic Tarot, okay, this is the Four of Pentacles. This is like the guy laying down sleeping, or that sword, sorry. Shit, who is this? I already forgot, my God. The art is different, you see what I mean? It's already fucking me up. The point is to be able to communicate these simple messages to someone who has never been introduced to astrology or astronomy for that matter, because they are in tandem, but as well, just encouraging them to get connected. Think of this as like their obsidian mirror. You know what I mean? So this is how I kind of hand somebody the book, like, please read this. It may talk about some things you identify with, potentially, or not, I don't know, right? But from there, okay, I like to go, this was another part of the gifts I received. The Hermetic Tarot, I had no idea how important this deck was. My only gripe with it is that this is the book. This needs to be a real book. This cannot be this. This is, I will not stand for it. I need a large, usable book, please, with real thought and intuition poured into some pages. That's what this deserves, in my personal opinion. But we go over here, all right? Sorry to take forever. We go to the Ten of Swords, all right, in this little book, and it's just got some nice little keywords for us, but it also conveniently tells you Sun in Gemini, 20 to 30 degrees. Okay? This is Ten of Swords, all right? Meanings: complete disruption and failure, undisciplined warring force, ruin of all plans and projects, disdain, insolence and impertinence, yet mirth and jolliness therein, loving to overthrow the happiness of others, given to much unprofitable speech and many words. Does this sound like anyone you know? Clever, reversed, mind you, okay? Clever, cute, eloquent, at times, beneficial, improvement. Those are two separate words, beneficial and improvement. Okay? One perspective on a very familiar system for us, yes? So some of the cards that people look at and they're like, yeah, I'm good. Okay, this is like a happy card to get, right? And RWS and basic keyword meaning? Sure, you could look at it that way. All right, I argue the initiated would immediately see this and want an ego check on their day. I mean, like stat. All right, this card, for me, looking further into where this lives on the tree of life, is just a little too close to this guy, right? It's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, let's say, again, this was my card of the day today, okay? I read this, a Lord of earthly power, immediately, ego check. That is my first thought this morning. Put the ego in a box. I hold no earthly powers here, right? If I do, for the love of God, I hope they're used correctly, right? But most, before I started really getting into this, that would have been the furthest thing from my mind, right? Not to say that ego is some evil thing, but it has taught me an entirely new light to look at these cards. When you go and look up, all right, the planets related to this card, we get, all right, Sun in Capricorn, okay? So, just since it's easier said than done here, just so you are aware, in case we're not clear, the Sun is kind of like your core identity blueprint, right? So for me, like, just again, in general, this is effectively what illuminates first through your soul, in a sense. Okay, a super generic version. But this is to say, for this card, this is the Sun and the sign of Capricorn. Do we know what Capricorn's tarot card is? Well, the work has taught me Capricorn, the devil. Okay? These are the things that cause me to look at a card such as the Four of Pentacles as a blessing, but also maybe double check. All right? Especially for where I'm at with a moon in Scorpio. So high priestess effectively communicating with Pluto, death, while I'm being given a message pre-retro Mercury about, feeling a little secure. Are we? You may want to double check that message, right? And so we're clear, technically, if you were looking for a read of the day, if you're anywhere near Arizona's little slice of the globe, there you go. Okay? Readings moving forward. This is why these cards are so important. Okay? This is all stuff I'm just pulling, right? But these two cards, these give us our baseline, all right? And they complete my holy number 7 spread that I do, if you will. And I call it holy number 7 because it is a holy number. We use the number 7 for a lot of stuff. 7 planets, 7 days of the week. Have fun finding all the 7 stuff, okay? There are 7 archangels, there are 7 seals that need to be broken, blah, 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 okay? It's an important number, all right? I don't know how to get around that. But when I read in public anymore, I want to find these cards and pull you your 5 from just the aether, right? They are to represent specifically your fire, your air. Oh, that's the wrong deck. We'll do it again. Air, water, earth, spirit. Okay. We accidentally drew 2 runes while we were at it. So remember, if anybody's watching this and you were feeling like this is for you, it's for me at present. I hope you will not mind. I don't really read myself, like, ever. Especially not the fuck on a live stream. My reads, well, they're usually not typically very pleasant, frankly. So, we cheated, okay? We didn't have a full deck, so it still counts. But the Lovers and 10 of Swords cards were not included in our shuffle, hence we're not possibilities. So just to explain myself a bit, I like to remind people, okay, if you feel ever you need to like reshuffle your deck to get like cards back in rotation so that they're available for your actual draw, okay, just remember that if you use reversals, you open yourself up to the possibility of answers coming through in the ways they need to on cards that otherwise would be like a yes or a no when you need it the other way, right? They will work with you. Just throwing that out there. So this is not the typical way I put these anymore, okay? Anymore, we do fire, air, water, earth, spirit, little cross, okay? Cross has become much more important in my life, all right? In fire, 7 swords. This is the card of, well, deceit, okay? Number 7 being the sphere, the Sapphira. Well, victory. This is ruled by Venus, okay? So, in essence, we can sit here and start to kind of break down where all these different minors live in the giant astrological wheel of tarot, and it will kind of dance around and speak to us about, you know, why things may or may not be flowing well, or maybe they are, who knows. So this is just to keep it short, right? This is the card, one of 2 ways you can look at this, really. This is the card of the hidden liar, somebody who is a liar and is just damn good at it. Or B, this is the card of an honest person, right? Someone who has perhaps lied in their past, right? But now they're effectively being Robin Hood or stealing the secrets to bring to a better place, perhaps, okay? Look at it however you would like, but for me, my first thought here, I go to Venus. Okay, this is the planet of beautification. It brings me to the mythology of Aphrodite. Okay, it takes me back to ancient days of Greek and Roman times where these people were looking, even in modern times, we're looking at worshippers as Aphrodite, not as these absolute goddess kind of muse figures, okay, with actual intelligence and a bit of influence on the things that happen in society. I say that because remember, these are the prostitutes, quote unquote, that all the artists, the people that run the businesses, the libraries, the schools that run ports, that own everything, they go talk to these women. Okay, so everybody thinking perhaps Aphrodite's followers is just these, you know, lowly, you know, women of the night. Well, there are probably more secrets spilled in those chambers than anywhere else on Earth, right? And now imagine if those followers of Aphrodite's, these beautifiers, are giving guidance to the people who potentially give you guidance, right? This is the energy of Venus. It is not just we make things pretty, we're in love, all right? It is truly a presence, a force, victory, united. It's glorious, really. And especially though, this is strange to see this, okay? If we look, it might even say here, this is the moon in Aquarius. So think High Priestess and the star. You have 2 very dreamy energies trying to talk to each other, but they're super related. If you look at just the moon itself, okay, and I mean like the moon, this is a cold, unmoving planet, All right. It does not care right, wrong. It's just is what it is. But it's here for kind of recognition and identification of our primal selves, that alternative knowing. Okay. I am super sorry, Future Gambit. We're not doing a public read right now. Sorry, I thought I thought that was clear. Right now, we're just getting some stuff out of the way. This is just me talking, doing a read for me at the moment. Here in a bit, if you're still around, probably will want to do some reads for other people. Right now, I'm trying to explain just what the heck I'm doing, okay? How the system works in general. I encourage you at home, if you have a tarot deck, okay, well, time to start reading. Start looking at your cards and learning along with me here what some of this stuff may mean. Okay. If you want to skip me entirely to book I was showing, man, I'm going to talk about this a whole lot. Just buy this. This is extremely complicated reading to start with, but I say just buy it and just dive in. Who cares? It talks about multiple different systems of tarot. It gives you a wide view of the world we're working with here. Okay. And does not turn you into, no offense world, but to a YouTube and TikTok fortune telling reader, quote unquote, right? Where we're just pulling answers out of thin air. I'm not saying that they're inaccurate, that they're wrong, that whatever. Okay. I'm trying to talk to the actual world here. The stars themselves have a message. Okay. Every day, all day and night. See them or don't. For me, I would like to know what countless years, decades, and centuries of human knowledge have culminated to tell me what that means. I make my own determination from there, if that applies to my life in any way. Weirdly enough, for me, well, more often than not, it's a little creepy. So, this is air and fire, okay? So, what does air, oxygen on a fire do, right? But this is blocked air. So in a way, this is tempered air, and mind you, it was kind of poisonous air, being what it is, in our place of passion. So I say again, for me, this is reversed. This is not to pump myself up here, but this is just the card of stealing the secret flame of Prometheus, basically, and coming to share it with you, right? Our air, the fool, we get immediately called out. More air. Yeah. But this is the point of emanation. This is the stuff of stuff, the things where dreams and the soul comes from, right? It's extremely airy. This card lives in this very strange place on the tree for me. I can't pronounce it right, but it's this little hidden spot in the middle that a lot of people don't talk about, and it's kind of like my area of focus. It's again the single point of emanation. You see it there, Da'ath, or however we pronounce it, represented by the planet Uranus. All right. Uranus is a planet that doesn't spin like on an axis like this. It's like sideways and spins. It doesn't do normal stuff at all. But this card is meant to represent, again, the gray unity, dude, the source of everything and all things. Okay? That's a place, though, we cannot go, right? We come from there. We'll go back there, but to go back there, you dissolve back to there. You don't just get to go visit on a day pass with your mortal body, right? It doesn't work that way. So for me, this is rather in alignment, all right? This is, well, we're here streaming. We're talking about quite literally the stuff of stuff, being the fool, going on an adventure, attempting truly to understand all of it. Okay? Moving on, we get the Hanged Man. Reversed. Water and water. So remember, fire, air, water. Okay. Earth, spirit. Blocked, water, and water. All right. We can view this one of two ways. When I get this card, usually, I always see the little trees, quote unquote. For me, these right here look semi like they're kind of distant trees in a way. It's as if this person is at a threshold, and you see there's even kind of two smaller ones. If you pretend them as like way far away, there's a deeper goal we're trying to reach. But we're just, man, if we could just let go, right? This card is so fascinating to me because it speaks again directly to the stuff of stuff. This is what's known in our work as the path of Mem, and it is literally like the water of water. And when I say that, I mean if you were to take the ocean, okay, just the ocean here on Earth, and you took a little bit of the ocean out of itself, right? And you know, polluted it and put it back in the ocean, right? And now imagine the ocean is infinite. Our little ocean on planet Earth. Make it infinite. Now add polluted stuff into it. Overall, that pollution, while present, you cannot just make like overwrite existing ocean, right? There's just going to be more ocean. It's forever, right? When you think you've polluted all the ocean will just make more ocean. Think of like matter, okay? When you burn something, where does it go? Go somewhere, right? This is the same place the eternal soul goes, all right? So this is, for me, much more intense than just a bit of stagnation. This is a direct blockage of my kind of access to the source. This is very likely me just having a misunderstanding, right? Something that I think I get. Yeah, probably what we're talking about right now, for instance, right? But this, I mean, it can mean a bunch of stuff, but it is blocked water and water. So this would be something, if this were someone else's reading, what is it, right? What is this thing, this kind of emotion that's right now being held in comfort instead of being used to progress the story some more, right? So finally, in our practical elements of the wise, we get the Queen of Pentacles, blocked. I already know what this is about. I don't eat enough. I don't sleep enough. But as well, this can be a card of obsession, really. So queens and kings and court cards don't usually get numbers, but they do now. There is a system in place. The queens get assigned the number 3. Queens live in the sphere of Bina. Okay? Our sphere of understanding. Okay? So you can now take this and apply it to understanding in this card's case, the very real physical world, but it's a queen, right? This is water and earth. So we have basically an obsession with something earthly, or as well, just unnurturing, right? This kind of motherly energy in the very real world of the earth, not present. And like I say, I already know what this is complaining about. I don't eat or sleep enough. I'm working on it. I don't know what to tell you, right? Finally, spirit, okay? The Chariot. We're back to 7, back to the moon, back to our emotions over here, okay? This is Cancer, all right? As in the astrological sign, which I kind of claim, right? Gemini, Cancer. So here's my blocked, well, steering of light and dark forces, blocked for some reason, okay? But again, number 7, this brings us back to Venus. So for me, this would start to give off vibes of like, just so we're clear, I literally just did laundry today, but it would appear I need to clean more, right? I need to be like taking care of some little mess, like beautifying something somewhere. Yeah. again, Venus is who we're looking at, so I would start reading any sort of mythology about Venus just to get in this headspace and connect with it, right? Same with our emotions here. This, strangely enough, for me, this is akin to Odin, right? So again, get in that same kind of headspace of, if this were Odin, energy aligned, this, and we're reading it, this is my energy. If Odin saw what you were doing, right, and kind of mimicry of him, he would be pissed that you were upside down on this tree to obtain knowledge instead of the other way, right? Just moving on to taking this brief moment of pause to reflect and learn and move past, right? You're not here to hang out all day. Not supposed to be a martyr. You're supposed to just flow, right, with the water of water. Okay? This is what readings have turned into for me. We got a couple snuck in, all right? This is hilarious to me. I didn't know at the time when I made this you can't reverse Gibbo. But, duh, it's the same either way, right? Herder. This is the gift of, well, literally, this is meant to represent, like, just think wheat fields, like corn, whatever crop, right? Your hard-earned reward. You are finally reaping that reward, yeah? So, again, this all means stuff to me. I'm not going to get into it too much here, but you know, brief, very brief explanation of, I guess, going forward, how tarot works for me. There was other stuff. What the hell did I want to talk about? You might hear it. There's an ice cream man driving by. I hope you hear it. So, what else? What else did I want to cover? I don't know. I think I'm going to shut up for now. Hello, Intune 111. Thank you. Curry Delight. Ah, yes. So, right now, God, truly the biggest thing, I feel so bad. I didn't perhaps name the stream correctly. But the biggest thing for me was just to get online, kind of get some thoughts out. Especially this, to share what readings look like kind of moving forward. I won't be able to do the live cards in this cute little pattern, but still, just the idea. Yeah, now that I'm officially crazy. But it was important to me to just at least touch on these things a little more. Hop on. I wish to be coming back to stream a little more regularly, which will happen. But right now, I'm still in a period of deep study. And as I said, you can see I'm being bitched at by my own cards. All right? Even this one, I argue, this is me like getting away with doing just the bare minimums, like in terms of taking care of me. Just kind of getting away with shit, really. I'm telling the truth, but also not, right? It's like eating half a cheeseburger and telling your friend that you ate the whole thing, but you know, just goofy shit for me. Don't worry. Again, these all mean things for me. Over time, I would like to sit down and teach people the actual story of the tarot. There are 4 suits. They have 4 stories, right? Each of those elements corresponds to human life in some way. They enable us to talk in these beautiful tales that, I mean, write your own, but we already have a ton, right, to work with. They're gorgeous, and they help us to connect with us. So, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Before I do hop off, okay, again, super selfish of me. This was mainly just to get some stuff that was in my head, out of my head. I at least want this made public known, how this kind of works. This is not meant to be some secret that only I can do. You don't need me at all for any of this, right? I encourage you buy a book. I don't care if someone tells you you have to get gifted your first tarot deck. Cuss that, okay? Go out. If you're interested in this, get a companion book. I would suggest start with this guy, okay? This is a nice small book, but I suggest it because when you look at it, it breaks everything down, okay? It gives you a lot more explanation on what you're actually looking at. And if you decide to progress and learn some more and get into astrology, well, then there are other books for you to read. Mini, and then you can go crazy like me. Goody. So, in tune 111. I think this might be our friend from St. Lucia, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I've been working a whole lot. A lot. I can't even say that. I've just been working. But after work, I'm usually so damn tired. Today, well, got to pep in my step, I guess. So, I have not been paying attention to chat at all. Again, this was really more so a me stream. So sorry. If there's anybody here, I see there's a few people here that would like a reading. Now is the time. You'll just have to type join, say hello, whatever. Otherwise, I'm gonna wrap it up. Go eat more food and I don't know, probably go read in the park. I got a whole bunch of books to read. A bunch. There's more in the closet. Okay. I don't see anybody jumping out of their seats for a read. I'll probably try to come on, I don't know, the weekend. We'll see. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe if I can ever get things organized well enough, I will just actually be on at nights to just sit here and listen to music and answer people's questions if they have them. If I can even answer them. How about that? Anyways, thank you very much for coming to hang out with me during Lost Opal Tarot time. We use things like Lenormand, tarot, esoterica in general, astrology, astronomy, hermetics, you name it. If it leads to the higher self, I'm in search of it and trying to share it with you. I'm going to go ahead and end stream. Nothing too crazy going on. I'll see you soon. Bless you, and I hope you're having the best day ever.